everybody, my name is Morrill, and I'm really excited to be here with you today to read from my debut YA novel, meant to be. Just a little forewarning, I'm a little nerdy when I get on camera, so apologies for that. And also, if you hear any like clapping around or barking, that would be my buddy Lucy, who is hanging around and may be curious as to what we're doing in here. So if she jumps into the frame, that's my dog. Alright, so I'm going to read the first chapter of Meant to Be. Chapter 1, Down and Dirty at 30,000 Feet. And each chapter begins with a text message. So it's over there. Over there. So I'll read the text message. It says, "Have a great trip and feel free to do anything I wouldn't do. P." There are certain things in life that just suck. Pouring a big bowl of Lucky Charms before realizing the milk is expired. The word moist. Falling face first into the salad bar in front of the entire lacrosse team. Bird strike! Being on a plane with Jason Lippincott is another one of them. 2 rows ahead of me, Jason is holding his hands up in mock prayer as our plane bounces like it's on a bungee cord. Not that I would have any idea what bungee jumping feels like, since I'd rather compete in a spelling bee in my underpants than leap off a crane with only a rope tied around me. At least I'd come away from the spelling bee with a medal. As the plane drops several 100,000 feet, I white-knuckle the armrest. Jason's prayers may be a joke, but mine are very, very real. God, please deposit me safely on the ground in London, and in the process, maybe you could find a way to get Jason to shut it. I hate to fly. Seriously, hate it. It seems wrong to be hurtling through the clouds at warp speed in a metal tube. It makes about as much sense as being flung over the ocean on a slingshot. I tuck my pocket Shakespeare into the seat back and carefully realign the magazines that have bounced out of formation on my tray table. We're going down! That's Jason again, of course. The plane bounces even worse than before. My knees crash into the tray table, sending my half-eaten package of peanuts and my entire stack of magazines raining into the aisle. I instinctively grab for the armrest once more, and the businessman next to me lets out a loud yelp. Oops, not the armrest. His thigh. I thought it felt a little flabby. I mutter an apology and adjust my kung fu grip to the real armrest this side. Breathe, breathe. I close my eyes and try to picture Mark. Weirdly, the first image that comes into my head is his yearbook picture. He has the perfectly proportioned features of a model, a bright white smile with perfect teeth all lined up in a perfect row, except for that one tooth, 3 from the center, that is a teeny bit crooked, which I love because it sort of shows off how straight the other ones are, and his thick, wavy brown hair is always in the right place, mussed just enough, but not too much, without the aid of any greasy or crunchy hair product. Perfect, just like him. I finally start to feel calm, like I'm coasting across the ocean on the back of a little songbird instead of strapped into a lumpy polyester seat. Then Jason lets out a loud, "Woo!" shattering my Mark-inspired zen. I sit up straight in my seat. Jason's got his arms raised like he's on a roller coaster. A pretty flight attendant glides up the aisle toward him. Good. If I can't get Jason to shut it, maybe she can. I crane my neck for a better view of the scolding I know is coming his way. Instead, I see the flight attendant pass him a folded-up napkin, which he immediately opens to reveal a stack of chocolate chip cookies. From the way he's handling them, all delicately, I can tell they're still warm. The flight attendant flashes Jason a smile. He says something to her and she laughs. He acts like a jerk and still scores first-class snacks. Oh my God, he is too much. Isn't he hilarious? It's Sarah Finder, Newton North's resident TMZ. She's elbowing her seatmate, Evie Elston, in the ribs, nodding in Jason's direction. Seriously, adorable. And the Scarlet thing is over, right? Way over. They broke up weeks ago. Of course Sarah knows. Sarah always knows. So far, during the 3 hours and 27 minutes we've been on this flight, Sarah and Evie have left no student undiscussed. Except for me. Possibly because the last time there was any gossip about me, it was in 8th grade when Brian Holloman taped a felt rose to my locker on Valentine's Day. The only reason anyone cared about that was because it came out the next day. The rose was actually meant for Stephanie Kelly. From my vantage point in the seat directly behind her, I had already heard about Amber Riley's supposed nose job, Rob Diamos's recent suspension for smoking cigarettes in the janitor's closet, and the shame Laura Roberts was undergoing, having received her mother's 2000 Honda instead of the brand new Range Rover she'd been telling everyone she'd get. Think he's all wounded and needy, on the prowl for someone new? Evie has one of those oversized mouths attached to an oversized face that makes all her vowels sound a mile long. Doubtful, Sarah answers, then, lowering her voice, he said he's trying to join the Mile High Club. Seriously? Isn't that like when people, on a plane? From the way Evie's voice jumps to Mariah Carey's octaves, it's hard to tell if she's horrified or interested in signing herself up as a willing participant. Shh! And yes, totally, you know how he is. Up for anything, Sarah says. Gross. I say a silent prayer that God can add Sarah to the list of people to render temporarily mute while he's working on keeping our plane in the sky. I mean, I'm totally not one of those prudes who believes having sex as a teenager is some kind of mortal sin or social death. I don't have a problem with sex. I just don't happen to be having it. And if I were having sex, I certainly wouldn't be getting it on in an airplane bathroom. Who wants to get down and dirty in a place so cramped and dirty? I close my eyes and try to get Mark back, but Sarah's voice keeps slicing into my visions like one of those infomercial knives, cuts cans, shoes, and daydreams. Without imaginary Mark to keep me company, there's only one way to simultaneously block out Newton North's biggest mouth and chase away visions of Airmageddon. I pull my iPod out of my purple leather satchel, which is tucked safely under the seat in front of me. I unwind my headphones and click on some mellow tunes, Hayward Williams being my choice of the moment. It's like someone put gravel and butter into a blender and out came his voice. But as I reach back to put in my earbuds, I encounter something wet and sticky nestled in my curls. I pull the end of my ponytail around to my face to find a wad of what looks, smells, and feels like grape bubble yum. A fit of giggles erupts behind me, and I turn to see a little boy, maybe 7, wearing a Buzz Lightyear tee. He is grinning maniacally. His mother is snoozing peacefully beside him. Do you? I whisper, furiously shaking my hair at him. Oops, he exclaims before dissolving into another fit of hysterical laughter, his fat cheeks burning red under his mop of curls. Add children to the list of things I hate. Flying and children. After several minutes of careful picking, followed by some full-on tugging, all while I thank my parents for making me an only child, it becomes clear. I'm going to have to leave my seat and go to the bathroom in total defiance of the pilot-ordered fasten seatbelt sign. I don't use airplane bathrooms as a rule, and I really don't like breaking rules. It's kind of one of my rules. I mean, if I'm going to plummet to my death, it's not going to be with my pants around my ankles. Then again, a big wad of grape gum in my ponytail definitely constitutes an emergency, no matter how little I care about my over-chlorinated wild chestnut waves. I carefully unfasten my seatbelt, keeping my eye on the flight attendant's galley, and make a beeline for the lavatory. As I pick at the purple gooey mess my head has become, I can hear faint giggling coming through the wall. What is it with everyone on this flight, acting like it's a day at Six Flags? I'd rather be on the Titanic at this point. At least there I'd be traveling in comfort, with crystal glasses and warm towels. I finally yank the last gob of gum out of my hair and step out of the lavatory, wrestling with the little sliding door, which has grabbed hold of the sleeve of my hoodie. I fumble around, bashing my elbow on the doorframe before finally freeing myself and whipping around to leave. Right then, the plane bounces hard, and I'm shot out of the bathroom like a cannonball. A pair of arms saves me from bashing my head into the narrow doorway. I look up to see Jason Lippincott steadying me on my feet. "Booklicker," he says, invoking my least favorite junior high nickname. He grins, several freckles on his forehead scrunching together. "Enjoying your flight?" I pull away from him. "It's Julia," I reply as calmly as possible, adjusting the hem of my pants, which have hooked themselves over the sole of my sneaker. "Of course," he says, gesturing down the aisle. "After you." Thanks, I say. Maybe he can tell how badly I want to get back to my seat. As I make my way down the aisle, I begin to notice my classmates' eyes on me. The looks quickly turn to snickers, and then full-on laughter. Ryan Lynch, Newton North's lacrosse captain, is grinning stupidly at me. Sarah is whispering furiously to Evie, her eyes trained in my direction. I have absolutely no idea what's going on, and I immediately wonder if there's more gum in my hair, or if it somehow landed on my face. I reach to pat my hair down when a wild gesture catches the corner of my eye. I turn to see Jason, making a thrusting motion in my direction, winking at Ryan, who reaches out to give Jason a high five. Oh my God, no way! They think it was us in the bathroom with the Mile High Club and all that. They think it because he's making them think it. How could they think I would do anything with Jason Lippincott, much less anything in an airplane bathroom? My eyes dart back to Sarah, who is still in full-on gossip mode, her gaze locked on me. If Sarah knows, everyone knows, which means it's only a matter of time before the news gets back to Mark. And by then, who knows how crazy the rumor will get. Newton North is like one giant game of telephone. One thing is certain. Good, sweet, kind, thoughtful Mark is going to want nothing to do with me if he thinks I've been even semi-naked with Jason on a transatlantic flight. Though Jason has stopped thrusting, he's still laughing and air-fiving his seatmates. Air-fiving. Yeah. First time he calls me book licker, then he pretends I got down and dirty at 30,000 feet. All I can do is turn and hiss, "Stop it!" before dropping into my seat. I crammed my headphones into my ears, cranked the volume on my iPod, and tried to drown out my humiliation with some tunes. At this point, I'm almost hoping for a crash. So, there's the first chapter of Meant to Be. If you haven't read it, I hope you'll pick it up and check it out. It may even be more fun without my terrible voices. So, thank you for letting me join you and sticking with me through my reading. And Lucy has joined us. I don't know if you can see. She is... Oh, there's her little pawsies down on the floor. I put her right to sleep. All right, well, thank you, and I'll see you on the boards.